Good morning, everyone. Good morning and good evening. Welcome back. Welcome to Cloud DevOps Batch 54. So before I start the session, I would like to give a quick recap on what's being covered in the previous session. Previous session, we majorly focused on how billing works in AWS. In AWS, in any cloud provider, billing works on pay-as-you-go model, which means based on how much ever you have consumed, the billing will be based on that. For example, if you have used 1,000 servers for 5 hours per 15 days in a month, you'll be based on that. You'll be billed based on that. Okay. And every month you'll get a bill, and based on the bill, you'll be paying the bill, and that's how the things will work. And it's not a capital intensive thing like you are going to pay first and Amazon is going to give you resources. No, it's not you pay me first, then I'll give you. No, it goes on trust, it goes on a billing model, and it's called as a pay-as-you-go model. Also, we have seen yesterday, I want every one of you to start consuming the lab image, CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI, which is available in North Virginia. We have shown how to create an instance using the lab AMI. Usually, AWS enforces you to start consuming or start adopting the key pair-based authentication, but we have stopped consuming that, and instead we have started adopting using username and password-based authentication. Excuse me. Yeah, so we have started adopting username and password based authentication, and that username and password authentication will only work if you proceed without a key pair. And at the same time, you have used my image, and the image is available only in the North Virginia region. Yesterday, while publishing the video with you, I have also sent you the link. Okay, this is called the GitHub profile. So every one of you, okay, you can refer this GitHub profile. Okay, so whatever the link that I have given, you can find all the information here. For example, if you want to find all the YouTube videos rather than depending on me, you can just click the link and it's going to show all the videos together in a shot. So this is a playlist which you can use to refer all the videos. And at the same time, if you want to see what is the dashboard that we are using, just same thing, just copy paste it, your dashboard, whatever the dashboard that I am displaying in the screen will also be visible, and I have made it as a public. And if you want to create an AWS account, same thing. And whatever the AMI that I have instructed yesterday, the Linux Learning AMI to use, okay, that is available only in the North Virginia. Ensure you have selected North Virginia region, then search for the AMI with the name CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI. And when you start creating the server with this without username and password, then you need to connect using CentOS and password, and it works. Yesterday, majority of them have started creating this user, and I got responses from you guys that it is working and all. But few of the people, whatever the mistake that you're doing is, so they are not using P in the capital. Okay, this is case sensitive, which means you need to use uppercase letter. Okay, whatever the information that I'm going to pass, everything will be enclosed in a single place. So you don't have to hamper or search multiple places where this information and all. Okay, that is one announcement I would like to make. All right. Also, we have seen yesterday how many types of clients are available in SSH. We have seen in AWS, we have seen in general, we have SSH based clients as Putty. Okay, so Putty, Excel and all. I have also shown you how to connect to the servers using Excel. And once you have the Excel, you can connect to the servers and you can do whatever you want. So it's going to be like it's going to be very, very handy. Okay, also we have seen if someone comes and asks you, hey, provision a server, how do you provision it? So what all questions you need to ask your requester is something we have also discussed, so I don't want to extend it one more time. And we have seen in EC2, with respect to the billing, there are three varieties of instances. One is on-demand type, where it goes on whenever you're not sure when you want to create the instance, when that instance will be deleted. During that time, we go with something called as on-demand instance. And another type of category is a reserved instance. When you go something, it goes with account management team in your project and the technical account management team in the Amazon. When you give a commitment to them that, hey, I'm going to use this server for that X 1 year or 3 years or whatever it may be, based on that, you would get some great discount. And another category is spot instance. This is like a gold. Okay, we haven't covered this yet. Today, I would like to speak more on. All right. Also, we also discussed another important point. I think Prabhu or someone has asked. So yeah, before proceeding further, this is the billing difference we have seen. If you go with 1 year on demand, it's gonna costing you close to $3,000. And if you go with the same instance by giving a commitment that you're gonna use for 1 year, Amazon is going to give you almost 33% discount on 1 year usage. And if you use it for, okay, if you're giving a commitment that I'm going to use it for 3 years, you almost get 70% discount. Having said that, even if you use that server or not, when you give a commitment to Amazon, irrespective of their usage, so you'll be billed. It's not like I'm not going to use it and you don't bill me. No, it doesn't work. Also, we have seen there are certain companies like complaints. There are also certain standard companies like where health insurance companies or payment card industry companies where they have their own data centric standards. At that point of time, they don't want to go with shared servers. When I say shared server, whatever the virtual machines that we are creating, that machine is technically getting created on the top of some hardware. Okay, on the top of some, all right, on the top of some hardware it is going to be created, and on the same physical hardware you get one virtual machine that can be from Flipkart environment, or you get another server created from Google Cloud, Google environment, and another server would be created by the client called as Myntra. So you don't have any visibility, and Amazon is 100% sure that there won't be, the Flipkart server don't have any visibility on the Myntra server, and Myntra server don't have any data visibility on the Google server. But still, if you don't want, okay, if you don't want your hardware where your servers are running, don't want that to be shared with another company or another client, you can go with something called as a dedicated instance. When you go with the dedicated instance, okay, they'll mark it as, okay, for example, Flipkart. Okay, so they'll mark it as Flipkart, and whatever the instance that are created for Flipkart will only be created in this particular hardware. And this type of instances are very, very costly. And these type of instances are called as dedicated instance. Even in my entire career, I have seen only once or twice, because these are very, very costly. It will be more than 5 to 10 times than what actual service, because Amazon is exclusively dedicating it only for you, not for anyone. And there are certain applications like database applications or applications which are developed on-prem, which means they are not cloud applications. For example, if those applications wants to run, they should have a dedicated host, just like your physical machine on the data center. Amazon also provides that. If you go with the physical host, you just need to tell how many servers you want, how much CPU you want. They just dedicate this server only to you. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. They'll give you access to the server as well. Rather than you maintaining it in your data center, you can also maintain a physical host on the top of this server, because there are certain applications which works only on physical machines. This is also called as a bare metal or physical. Okay, only when you're working for data complaints companies or uh, some secure companies, secure projects, or as per the payment card industry standard companies, you'll be seeing it. If not, you don't see this whole dedicated host or dedicated instance. In interview, if they ask, have you used it or not? Just say, I know the concept, but I haven't used it. Okay, but the concept remains the same. Rather than how you create an instance there, we will be creating the instance here. But fundamentally, concept remains the same. There won't be any change. When you create any server, by default, they're getting created in a shared tenancy. Okay, that's what I would like to talk. Okay, all right. I could see a couple of hands raised. I'll address them in 15 minutes, guys. Just bear with me. Meanwhile, you can post me the questions. All right. So before that, let me send me a poll. How many of you are having challenges with the lab image? Let me send a poll. Are you able to create the server with? So guys, I have sent a poll. Please respond that. Okay, few of them have reported that they're having challenges with that. So I just sent a poll. How many of you are having challenges? Yes or no? Is highly appreciated. I just sent a poll. Are you able to create a server with the username and password with the lab image? So yeah, just poll your vote so that it makes my mind more peaceful. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So 10% of the people have reported that they are not able to create the server with the lab image with the username and password. That's fine. I'm gonna show you again one more time. That should not be a problem. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the response. I think we should be good on this. Okay. Let's proceed. All right. Perfect. Let's proceed, guys. So with respect to the billing, we have discussed about on-demand instance and reserved instance, but the third category of the instance is spot instance, which we haven't discussed. Let's try to discuss that. Okay. Each and every cloud provider, okay, each and every cloud provider, keeping the future demands in mind, they'll design the infrastructure. Okay, when I say future demand in mind, if you observe during COVID, all the people started working from home, and a lot of people started using Zoom, GoToMeeting, WebEx. All these virtual softwares came up in SaaS model, right? End of the day, they are also highly dependent on some cloud provider. So your cloud provider has to anticipate what is the future demands, and keeping the future demands in mind, they need to design their infrastructure and they need to invest money in that. So keeping that context in mind, for example, this is Amazon's farm of servers in Amazon data center. For example, this is Amazon's data center. They were having huge amount of servers. Okay, huge amount of servers. This is Amazon's data center. Okay, let's assume this is AWS data center. Okay, they are having tremendous amount of servers to keep the future demands in mind. For example, me as a customer of Flipkart wants to I would need 500 servers or 10,000 servers. Or similarly, from some other company like Cisco also comes and says that I want 3,000 servers. Amazon should be in a position to provision the server, keeping the futuristic demands in mind, keeping the futuristic analysis in mind. They are going to design very huge infrastructure. Okay, whether it is used or not is secondary, but keeping the future demands in mind, they are going to design these things. Okay, for example, these many servers are being used by, okay, for example, let's assume these many servers are used by a company like Flipkart. For example, this is Flipkart servers. Okay, and for example, these servers are being used by a small startup, and the name of the startup can be Quick Ride. Okay, these servers are used by the company called as Quick Ride. Okay, Quick Ride is a share pooling app. Okay, so likewise, keeping the future demands in mind, Amazon is going to provision a lot of infrastructure. But at any point of time, okay, keeping the future demands in mind, Amazon will keep the infrastructure running with higher amount of CPU, higher amount of memory. They have a lot of servers which are underutilized. If you see this, as per a lot of analysis, majority of the data centers only 30 to 40%, 30 to 50% only utilized. Rest of the 50 to 70% of them are underutilized. Okay, so keeping the future demands in mind, Amazon has designed very big infrastructure with tremendous amount of servers with high CPUs, high memory, a lot of things. Huge number of servers are there. For example, if this data center is having 100 servers, and out of which they are only running 60 servers as per the customer demands, as per the customer demands. But how about, even though they are making some handsome amount of money, still they could see that 50 to 70% of the resources are left idle and they are not being consumed. So in order to utilize this underutilized or unutilized hardware, Amazon came up with a concept called as spot instances. Okay, spot instance, and this is a savior. This is a savior with respect to the billing, and it gives you almost 90 to 95, 98% of discount. If earlier you are getting $100,000 as bill, if you start using spot, you would end up consuming just $2,000 to $3,000 spot. But here is a catch. You can say that, hey Manu, if spot instances are giving 90 to 98% of discount, then why the hell people use on-demand reserved instances? There are a lot of things to be considered. Okay, when you join any company, usually the first 1 to 2 months are very important, because in the first 2 months, if you are categorized as a person who don't know, who didn't deliver, after 3 to 4 months, even if you deliver well, so the recognition would be the same, because we always, people believe, the psychology says first impression is the best impression. So usually when people join company, we need to try to show that we are a good resource. Always people start with trying to save something to the client. That's one point that I strongly believe in, so that you get some good confidence and people also start trusting you. So when you join any company, just look in this way. Okay, so this concept will help you in that context. Okay, so coming back to the spot instances, why spot instances are able to give 90 to 98% of the discount. Okay, so there are some conditions that you need to follow. So what these conditions are, let me talk about that. Okay, so let me talk about that. So when to use spot and when not to use spot. Okay, this is a very important point. Okay, so let's try to see that. Points to be remembered while using a spot server. Okay, these are very, very important. We'll also go with spot instances. First point, very important point. Spot servers are not for production servers. This is very important. Okay, you need to remember this point. Next thing, typically spot servers are created only for lower environment. When I say lower environment, not production grade machines, like your development machines, test machines, or integration environment, which means a very, very lower environment, which also means let's try to consider the non-critical server. Even if this server goes down, I don't care. My business is not impacted. Okay. Next, this is very important. You create a server, you can run any amount of time, any number of days, any number of minutes, any number of hours, no questions asked, as long as you pay money. But spot servers are like spot EC2 instances or spot EC2 servers cannot run for more than 24 hours continuously. This is very important. So every one of you understand this point. Okay, spot servers cannot run for, you create a spot server, and if you want to run for more than 24 hours, no, it will not run. And fourth important point, AWS can terminate the spot EC2 instance anytime, with or without notice. Okay, with or without notice. This is very important one. Now, earlier, this point is earlier. Okay, you don't have an option to stop the spot server. Okay, the only option earlier you used to have is you can just create a server or terminate the server, but there is no concept of shutdown. Okay, so from last 1 year, from last, I think 1 year, they have introduced the stop option for EC2 servers. Okay, Okay, when you attend any interviews, okay, few of the people who takes interviews might not get updated, so they still think that okay, spot instances cannot be terminated, and they'll ask you, can if I have created a spot instance, and how do you stop the spot instance? They expect the answer as no, you cannot stop an instance. Spot instances can be created or terminated, but they cannot be stopped as per the AWS design. That answer is what they expect if they are not updated. If they are not aware of this feature, they'll think that you cannot stop. But I think 8 months back or 1 year back, Amazon has introduced this concept called as stopping. So you can also stop the EC2 spot server. Okay, this is a very recent feature, just I think last 9 months to 1 year, they have introduced this. Okay, now why like that? Why Amazon can terminate the instances at any time without any notice? Okay, so why you cannot run this server for more than 24 hours? All these things, let's try to discuss. Okay, so for example, guys, in the same for example, now Amazon has given spot. Okay, so you as a company want some spot servers, you just requested spot one more server you want, you requested one more server, spot 2. That means whenever you place a request, Amazon is giving you spot 2, spot server 2, and next server is spot number 3, and like that, spot number 4. Okay, so as a part of the spot request, you have placed a request and Amazon is giving you a server. Now all of a sudden Flipkart says, I want not 6 servers, I want 100 servers. Now what Amazon does, because this Flipkart wants reserved instances, because Amazon has already bought the capacity. Okay, Flipkart may or may not use, but they are left idle. Now what Amazon does, since we have given commitment to Flipkart, or there are people who says I want 100 instances of on demand, they get more money through reserved instances and on-demand instances, right? You know what Amazon does? Amazon is going to terminate this request immediately. Okay, Amazon is going to terminate this request immediately, and they are going to allocate that to Flipkart. Okay, these requests will be terminated immediately. That means whatever the data that you store, everything will be destroyed with or without notice, and immediately a cleanup will happen. And the same resources, I mean, after cleanup, Amazon is going to allocate the resources to you. Okay, and that's the reason you get it for lesser price. Okay, only during the unavailability, only during when premium customers are not using it, you get an option. Okay, that's the business of spot, because Amazon is clearly telling this is how it works. If you want, take it. If you don't want, don't take. It's a trade-off, what you want versus what you don't want. Okay, and that's the reason spot servers are not meant to run for okay, it is meant only for the non-critical servers, where even if someone shuts down the machine, your business should not be impacted. For example, you as a software company wants to hire some best engineers from the colleges. So what you did is you have given an option of internship to 100 engineers, 100 college students, and as a part of their R&D, you want to give them 100 servers. If you give 100 servers to them, for example, if you go with reserved instance and each and every instance is costing you 100 into 100, $10,000 it costs you per month just for interns. Rather, if you give a spot instances to them, okay, it might cost 10,000 of 98%. How much? 2 into 100, $200. 98% of the billing you have saved to the company, right? Now, in this case, even if because of some capacity demand, if Amazon terminates the intern Linux server, no one cares, right? Because he can wait for 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 1 hour, right? It's not impacting company's business, but for company, it is saving 98% of the billing. Okay. All right, guys. Is it clear? All right. I could see Sai, Pradeep hands. Go ahead, Sai.
So these spot instances are available in shared tenancy or
Shared.
Only shared?
Shared. The word dedicated, you don't get a spot for that tenancy. Okay.
And one more question is, you mentioned that spot instances cannot run more than 24 hours.
Right.
So
Right.
it will be stopped or it will be terminated?
It will be terminated. The request will be terminated. Okay. The
Okay.
server goes. Okay. it will be terminated. You get a brand new server if the availability is there.
So with this EC2, whatever storage is attached, like the EBS,
everything will be gone.
Everything will be gone.
Yes. And that's the reason you should not run for critical servers. Okay. I have given you an internship example, right? For the development environment.
And it is applicable only for EC2 or some other services
EC2.
can be
EC2. EC2. Okay. EC2 only.
Yeah.
All right. Or the compute. Let's take this way.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Manoj, Padma here. So will that shut down automatically?
Not
like
shut down, termination.
Termination automatically within 24 hours?
Yes.
If some
there is a difference between server termination and request termination. We'll see the difference about it. But to answer your question, whatever the server you create will be terminated. You might or might not get a brand new server as per the resource availability Amazon gives you.
Even the some processes are running continuously, that will shut down.
It's simple. If you cross it more than 24 hours, the server will be terminated. It's a simple line. That's it. Okay. Because Amazon has given you, because Amazon has clearly told you, hey, I'm giving you 98%. And if you're running production servers on it, I can't do anything. It's a trade-off, right? I'm giving you huge billing and a discount. And at the same time, I'll say, do not use it for production servers. It's a trade-off, what you want versus what you can afford.
And how about security wise?
So you get the same security, right?
They
are only talking about billing, and it's not like some third grade service you get. No, they follow the best security standards, what they offer at any time. They don't compromise on security. Okay. The same server, but you get it for lesser price because of these conditions. That's it. Okay.
What I'm asking is, well, like when you are in shared service compared to dedicated ones, multiple clients will be there on that server. That's why I'm asking, like basically in banks or insurance companies, you have a critical data, customer related data. Okay,
then don't use it. If you can't afford, don't use it. Very simple. Okay, so Amazon is telling you this is what it is, but they also promise, they also give you a commitment that your data won't be shared with anyone. Even they can't do that because everything will be encrypted at rest. Okay. All right. But if your business is something which wants a dedicated host or physical servers, then just go with these options. If you're ready to pay, use this. Okay. Dedicated host or dedicated. Amazon is telling you, I don't share. If your business or your complaint says, in our business, we are supposed to run our virtual machines or instances on the top of dedicated instance, which means the hardware should only accommodate the servers which are of my company, not by anyone else. If you have that constraint and if you're ready to pay, just go with the dedicated instance. If not, these are all the options based on what you want. We are going to choose. That's it. All right, Padma?
Manu, is there any option? Is there any because like if you can't run, I have seen in my my company that setting up development environment take a good amount of time. Now the server can't run 24. Is there any use case you can tell where someone would use spot instance?
We'll come there.
Okay.
Any other questions, anyone? Just give me a couple of minutes. Let me address that questions. That's my next topic, by the way. Pradeep, go ahead. Rahul, Mukesh.
Sir, in case of dedicated instance, how are availability issues taken care? Like you said, if for the data center, you know, if it is subject to any earthquake or power cut, then the data is lost. So in case of dedicated instance,
you create one more server in other availability zone. That's it. We have a concept called as a load balancing. Okay. So the answer is load balancer. I haven't taught that yet, but to answer that question, to give you a short, crisp answer, load balancer is the answer.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Vagesh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vagesh. Mukesh, go ahead. Go ahead, Pawan, if you're speaking.
Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. My question is just related to this stop and terminate. So, consider, if I have created the server, so instead of terminate, if I just put stop, even that will go in as in the billing part.
That's a very good question. I'll address that. Just give me a couple of minutes that as well. Okay. Yesterday you have asked the same question. Let me address that. Okay. Manju, go ahead.
And, I think somebody already asked, Mukesh, the use case, and other thing is how frequent is it spot instances is being used in the companies or a team. Yeah,
let's discuss that. That's my next topic. Okay, let me discuss that. All right. Okay, let me discuss that point.
Yeah. Actually, my question is on the similar lines. If it is testing or intern, it is fine. But if it is development types, like we are in the staging and doing some development kind of work, and if Amazon shutdowns or terminates the spot instance, then I mean the work is lost, right? So in that
give me a couple of minutes. I'll address
have?
that as well. Give me a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. So that will be as a part of the use case. Yeah, I think about that. All right. So multiple people have asked the question how billing works when I have shut down the machine. That's a good question. Billing works when you shut down the machine. Okay, you take a server, and what a server means, it has some CPU. Let's take this. Server is nothing but something, a big computer, which is majorly based out of CPU, memory, and some storage. All right. Now it will have some disk attached to it. And the disk is attached to the server. That's how it is. Right. Now, as a part of the free tier, what all you get? Let's try to see that. AWS free tier. So as a part of the free tier, what Amazon gives you, let's try to see that first, then we'll understand it better. So as a part of the free tier, Amazon gives you compute. What they're telling, I'm gonna give you 750 hours of running EC2 per month if you use T2 Micro or T3 Micro for Red Hat Linux instances. All right, this is clear. And second thing, Amazon is also telling you, okay, they are going to give you 30 GB of disk. Okay, they are also going to give you 30 GB of disk. For example, if you see this, Amazon is giving you the storage that we are using is called as elastic block storage. And they are going to give you 30 GB of such storage per month. If you go beyond that, then you will be billable. Okay, with that context, come back. And the moment, for example, if you are using T2 micro or T3 micro, which gives you 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM. 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM. And you're just choosing 20 gig of storage, 30 gig of storage. Okay, now as soon as the server is up, so your billing will be based on CPU, memory, and attached storage. All right, now when the server is down, even though technically your server is up, but Amazon can use the CPU that was allocated to you to someone else, right? That means it is just a logical allocation. You are not using, I'll use it for someone else, but Amazon cannot use the disk that is allocated to you because on the disk that is allocated to you, there is a data on it. So when the server is up, you will be billed for CPU, storage, and memory. But then the server is down, you'll be billed only for the storage. Attached storage. Make sense? Amazon can still do business with the CPU that is allocated to you, but you have shut down the machine, which means you are not using it. Amazon can use the resources to someone else. right? But Amazon cannot do business with the disk that was allocated to you because you have stored some data so that it is reserved to you. And the CPU memory can be utilized somewhere else. So that's the reason when the server is up, you'll be charged for these three entities. And when the server is down, they don't charge you either from your credits or from the free tier limits. Okay, they don't charge you for the attached CPU and memory. When the server is shut down, then you will be charged only for the storage which is attached to the disk. All right. It's the same. It's the same. Either it is for Spot server or the on-demand server or the reserved instance. Okay. Perfect. Another point that people have raised is, okay, what is the use case? If Amazon is giving you 98% of discount, how come I can use it? What is the discount? What is the, when I can use it? Spot instances. So guys, right now, Spot is a business. A lot of companies are making money out of the Spot. Spot is the business right now. Okay, there are a lot of companies who provide you Spot servers for a very lesser discount. Okay, there is a company called a Spot.io that was recently, or I think 1 year back, it was acquired by NetApp. Their business is, okay, you can request them telling, hey, we are on AWS cloud and we want Spot servers. How best discount can you give for AWS? Okay, this Spot, the company Spot, will be associated with all the three major cloud providers, and they'll ask, hey, whatever the Spot server that you have, you give it to me. Whether I use it or not secondary, you give everything to me. I'll do better business. So you are getting 98% discount, right? These guys will get 99 or 99.95 discount. Amazon directly sell with these guys, and you can sell it from them. You get better discount from them as well. Okay, like this, lot of companies coming up. Okay, because Spot is the business. What they are telling, maximize the value of your cloud investment, deliver applications faster and more reliable. Okay, so these are the companies which are coming up with Spot as a business in mind. Okay, so keeping the importance in mind, okay, keeping the stability in mind. For example, you are having an application. For example, your application is running on, okay, your development environment is running, keeping the availability in mind. Okay, keeping the availability in mind. Keeping the availability in mind, we are going to our development environment. This is my development environment. Okay, and my development environment has two cards servers. Okay, card Spot. This card Spot, and I have two card Spots. This is payment application. But this time the payment is Spot. Next is, for example, another application or another server which is running user. And keeping the availability in mind, we are running two servers, right? So I'll give it a Spot. Okay, here I have 6 servers, right? My development environment has 6 servers. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to design this solution in such a way that, okay, so I want 50% of my resources should be reserved. And 50% of my resources should be on demand, should be Spot. Okay, if you go this for example, if you go with this approach, even if Amazon terminates because of some XYZ reason, if they terminate Spot server of user or Spot server of payment or Spot server of card, still your application will work as is. Okay, so for example, your development environment is an application which works on 100 servers, for example. Okay, your development environment is a very big complex application which runs on 100 servers. Let's assume this way. Okay, let's assume this way. Okay, so if you're having multiple resources like this, usually what we go with this is we go with 50-40 principle, 60-40 principle, or 70-30 principle. Even for production, we go with this approach. Okay, this is a savior, as I said. 70-30 on-demand reserved spot. That means in your application, including the heavy availability in mind, you have 100 instances. Out of 100 instances, 70% of the resources are reserved instances and 30% of the resources are spot instances. Okay, now in this way, even if Amazon terminates your instances that are related to spot, is your application still up or not? Make sense, guys? Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, guys. This is the approach that we take. Even in our training, when we are designing our project, okay, we are also going to keep the costing in mind, and we are going to design the solution in such a way that the same project, just by changing the number of spot and reserved, we should get different sort of servers without changing anything. Even you join any company, in any of the company, you see this kind of approaches and strategies which helps them to save. And whatever I'm telling is also not confidential. These are a lot of companies have published these white papers on how they save billing in their companies. All right. So 8% of the people reported that they are not clear with the spot use case. Who are not clear with that? Vijay, go ahead. Who are not clear, just go ahead, guys. Every person matters. Manju, go ahead. Vijay.
Manu, I have a question here. So when we are using these spot servers, right? So after 24 hours, it will terminate, right? So after that, how much time it will be again available for us?
Okay, depends on the availability. If Amazon doesn't have, if Amazon is running with full capacity, okay, and if they don't have the, because see, if the same server they give you, you are paid 2%. If the same server, if they give it to someone who wants on demand or reserved, they'll pay 100%. So first preference is always to the on demand or reserved. If they don't, if they have availability at that point of time, then you get the server immediately. If not, you need to wait for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like that, and like forth.
And here in the spot server also will do all the configurations, right? So
yes.
all those, I mean, configurations will be same when they created a new
Again,
server for us, or
yes.
we need to create?
That's where automation comes up. Okay, we have something called as, we make our own AMIs. Okay, that has all the settings, which we are going to talk very soon. Okay, not today, tomorrow. How do you ensure cart application should have all the cart related configuration, payment application should have all the payment related application. That's where I would like to talk about AMIs. And also we don't do any of the things manually. Only once we do manually, and then that's where automation comes up.
Thank you.
Okay, what has to happen when the server comes up? Okay, when something is destroyed and the server is coming up, what all installations, what all configurations, what all services that needs to be started, all these things has to be predefined by the engineers like you and me. How to do that? We'll be seeing it, but that is a very great question. Okay, appreciate that. Anyone else? So do we get any backup for the data in spot instances? So Salman, if you want, we can take, but as I said, if you see my above note, we should only use the spot instances where data is not critical. That is the first line we talk. So the moment if you say backup and all, that means it's a critical machine. If it is a critical machine, why are we using spot? But the answer is yes, we can take backup using a concept called as AMI or snapshots. But if you feel data is very intense and it is very important to us, the very first thing itself is fundamentally we are wrong. Okay, so yeah, the answer is yes. But if you're concerned about data, spot is not the right solution. Manju, hope I answered that.
I just wanted to know, Manu, we will be using this only for 24 hours because we need to do so much of configuration and all, and after 24 hours it will get terminated, right? So
what if I say, along with the server, you can also get all the configuration with the automation we are going to do? What if I say? in that way. And that's the reason they are paying you, right? They want things to be automated. They don't want to do things manually. And that's where they are paying us huge amount of money to do these things, right? And we are here to do that. And as a part of this training, we are going to do all such things. And just like I would like to show you one more thing. With a single click of a button, this is the level of automation we are going to achieve. Okay. I want everything to be done.
Okay, okay. And I was thinking that there might be some cooling period after 24 hours, so after some cooling period, same server will be available to you. But this is not the case. It will totally get terminated, right?
You get a brand new server.
Okay.
Sumana, actually, this spot is a very interesting topic. Okay, so we spend more time, okay, so to address the spot server and all, because in interviews they ask you more related to how you saved billing, how spot works, what is the thing that you can do with spot, what can't be done with spot. This is a very important critical topic, and that's the reason I'm investing more time and energy towards it.
Manu, I have one question regarding the spot instances. So is 24 hours the minimum time?
It's a maximum time.
It's a maximum time.
Yeah.
So you also mentioned that AWS can terminate spot instance anytime.
Correct.
With or without notice.
Correct.
So what are the scenarios? Let's say within an hour, if they terminate the spot instance. Okay.
If the instance is terminated in less than 1 hour, okay, for that 1 hour, there is no billing.
Okay.
Okay. I was about to add the point. All right.
Okay. I think that's.
So if we terminate the instance within an hour,
you need to pay. You need to pay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Perfect. I think I have addressed all the questions. Let's proceed. Okay, so this is what it is, guys, and this is how the use case. For example, if your application is a pool of resources like 100 servers or 200 servers or 300 servers, and if you want to keeping the high availability in mind, each and every application we run 2 or 3 instances, you can ensure that 70% of my workload should be reserved and 30% of my resources should be spot. This way you can save for 30% of the resources, you can save 98% of the billing. Okay, so for example, if you're getting $10,000 bill for running 100 servers for 30 days, 24/7, for example, if you have introduced this 70-30 concept for reserved and spot, so 30% of the resources would get 98% of the billing. That means per month, instead of getting 10,000, you would end up paying 72,000 or 7,200 or 7,300. That means straight away you have given 30% discount to your company. All right, that is the advantage, and there is the advantage of keeping things through spot. Okay, so without talking much about that, let's try to proceed creating a spot server. Since we have discussed 30-40 minutes on spot, I would like to create a spot server. Okay, let me, this is a 6 a.m. batch. Let me sign into the right account. Let's log back in. Also, one more thing, guys. Yesterday, a lot of people have confirmed their enrollment. People whosoever has confirmed their enrollment, majority of you guys would have got an onboarding email. Just keep a check on their emails. You would have got an email from me. And if you get an email from me like this, you are onboarded. Most of the resources for you will be published to you like this. Okay, you can check everything in a single page. Okay, so all the information is going to be published in a Google Doc with all the important information. Whosoever have confirmed that, whosoever has shared their email address, you would have got an email. So just check out their emails, guys. Just check your emails. All right, that is the announcement I have. All right, so let's try to sign in. trainer.manuverma.6am and 2HT. Now I would like to launch an instance. Guys, whosoever has mentioned that they're having challenges with this, let's try to see that. One more question by Mukul Agarwal. Can we use spot instance in auto scaling for 1 to 2 hours and then more loads are running? Yes, you can, Mukul. Since you're talking about what is auto scaling, so I hope you're aware of what is auto scaling. Yes, that's the answer is yes. All right, so let's try to launch the server. And I have signed into the cloud portal and I have checked North Virginia. By default, that is the one because I have not changed it from yesterday. Now I'm gonna click this. Okay, now I'm gonna launch an instance. Launch the instance. Now launch the instance. Now I would like to say my Linux spot server. Okay, my Linux spot server. I would like to browse the AMIs, and inside the community AMIs, just check. Okay, I'm repeating one more time for the people who has challenges with this. So click this CentOS 7 Linux. Okay, you could see that CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI. Select this, and this time I would like to create a spot server. Okay, so you can come here, scroll down, scroll down. You can also mention what type of instance you want. For example, since I'm getting 93% of the discount, I would like to go with some big instance, T3.medium, which gives me 2 CPU and 4 gig of memory. And then if you scroll down, there is an option. Okay, there is an option called a spot. Scroll down. In the advanced section, okay, at the bottom of your screen, you have an option called as advanced. You click on the advanced option. And when you click the advanced option, there is an option called as click this to request spot instance. The moment you mention this, it's going to consider it as a spot instance. Click this, and there are some options. Okay, if you just click this option, you cannot shut down this instance. Okay, so you can just start the instance and terminate the instance, but you cannot stop the instance if you just click this. If you want to include the shutdown option also, there is an option here called as customize. Okay, the moment you click this request spot, there is an option called as customize. Please click on the customize, and the moment you click on the customize, okay, you will get few more options that are related to the spot instance. And here, if you scroll down, there is an option called as request type. Okay, request type. Click on the request type. Is this a one-time request or a persistent request? One-time request is like it will be created and you cannot stop it. But persistent request is like your regular virtual machine, you even get an option to shut down the machine. This is the option I was referring in the beginning of the session. Okay, earlier you don't have the option of persistent. I think it's been 9 months or 1 year they have introduced this persistent concept, which means we can also stop the spot server. Majority of the people will still think that you cannot, but the answer is yes, you can if you choose the request spot request of persistent type. And you also need to select one more option called as interruption behavior. What is the interruption behavior that you want? So if someone this interruption option is stop, that means if it is interrupted by any chance, it goes for a shutdown. Okay, so scroll down, and that's all. You just launch the instance. Okay, it says key pair. I forgot this. So do I need to choose the key pair or not? Guys, do I need to choose a key pair here?
Not required, Manu.
Exactly.
No.
Why?
We are using a username and password.
100% right. Perfect. Proceed without a key pair and launch the instance. Now this instance will be launched and see how that works. Okay, we have used the same options, but instead we have selected the spot because in our training we are going to consume a lot of servers. We are sure we are going to end up what Amazon has given. So keeping the costing in mind, as I said, you're gonna get 100 to 200 rupees bill or $2 to $3. So if you follow my instructions, okay, spot is a savior. Okay, come this and copy this IP address and open your Excel. Copy this and open your Excel. Your Excel is opened, and now type SSH SSH is a protocol which helps you in connecting to the Linux based machine. Okay, SSH stands for secure shell. And what is the username of it? CentOS. And @ what is the IP address of it? This that means you're telling to connect to the server with this IP address and use this user account to sign in. It's just like entering your username. Okay, so accept and save and enter the password. What is the password, guys? Password 123. Okay, that instruction also I have placed it here in case if you got this link or just type this. I have already published it yesterday with you guys. You can find that information here as well. Okay, so just to avoid confusion, I have enclosed all the required information in this single GitHub profile. All right, now I have connected to the server. Okay, if you see uptime is a Linux command. It just shows you since when the server is up. We'll talk about Linux more starting from tomorrow. My goal for today is to show you create a spot server and how that works. Now, very important point, a very important point. Okay, I would like to talk now. Now, how do you come to know whether the server belongs, okay, whether the server that you created is a spot server or a reserved server or an on-demand server? Okay, so whatever the servers, you copy this, each and every server that you have created. Okay, each and every server that you have. Chandrasekhar, what you said? Nope. Is your hand raised? Okay, all right.
Manu, Srimati here, one more doubt. Yeah, yesterday we created one instance, right? Do we have an option to convert those into the spots in
no,
spot
you can't.
instance?
You can't.
Oh.
Once you create a spot, it has to be terminated. That's all. You can't change it. And another thing you can't. Okay, yeah, we'll come there. But to answer that, no, you can't. There are a few more points also. We'll talk about it in the upcoming session, but I don't want to hamper you guys much. Okay.
Manu, when you creating this spot instance, there was an option like some behavior, and there you selected shutdown. So it means that if it is interrupted or if 24 hours completed, it will be just powered off. It will not get terminated, right?
If Amazon terminates, it terminates. That option is not related to that, not termination. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. Let's proceed, guys. Okay. So yeah. Okay, now guys, if you each and every instance that is created in Amazon will have something called as instance ID. So for example, if you want to know what are all the reserved instances that are available to you, to your company, okay, in the same EC2, you have some options called as reserved instances. Did you see this? You click that. Okay, if you have any plans with Amazon, okay, you can see all the options here. That means you can say T22 micro is bought, T3 micro is there, T3x something is there. Okay, they'll tell you this is available in this region, in this zone. Okay, and the start of this reserved instance is this and expiry is this. So you get all of it. Even if you want to purchase, you can also do the purchase here, but let's not go here. Usually management takes care of it. Okay, but if you want to check whether the created server is a spot instance or not, you can come here in the spot request tab. You can see the list of all the spot servers that are created by it. For example, you do a Control F and search with the AMI ID. Okay, you can see that the server that you have checked is a spot request. Okay, it's a spot server and the status of it is active and the status is fulfilled. Sometimes you will also see the status as pending. Okay, and the request type is persistent and it is being created 5 minutes ago. Okay, now here is what you need to do. When you are creating a spot instance, what exactly you are trying to do is something you need to understand. Okay, when you create a spot server, what exactly? Okay, another point. When you create a spot server, okay, so you're not really creating a spot server. Okay, what exactly you're doing is you're placing a request. What you are doing is placing a request. Spot request. Okay, so what you're doing is a spot request. When you say I want to launch an instance, With Spot, what's going to happen is, okay, technically you are placing a request. Technically you are placing a request will be placed. Okay, a request will be placed. If there are resources available, then request will be fulfilled. If not, then request will be in pending state. Okay, when request is fulfilled, then that request will create a server. Okay, now if this is a Spot instance, okay, if you terminate the Spot instance, okay, the Spot request is going to fulfill. This will be the common question that tomorrow many of you will come and say, so sir, I came and created a Spot server, but I terminated the server, and again one more server came up. My account is hacked. I don't know who is creating the server. So the behavior of Spot, this is what I'm telling. Whenever you want a Spot server, what you are doing is you are placing a Spot request. Okay, and that request is creating a Spot server if it is fulfilled. Okay, and that's the reason if you want to terminate it, all you need to do is you need to terminate the request. If you terminate the request, server will also be terminated. That's how it is supposed to be. All right. Okay, so technically what you're doing is you're placing a request, and if I'm in Amazon, if the resources are available, then they are fulfilling the request and giving you the server. And if there are no resources available, then Amazon is not going to give you, and the status of your request will be in the pending state. And if you want to terminate the server, you need to terminate the request. For example, I don't want this server anymore. What I'll do is I'll just come here. I'll just say cancel the request. The moment you say cancel the request, you also have an option called as terminate. You need to click this. The moment you click this, your instance will also be terminated, which is associated with that. Refresh it, you'll see that the status of it is shutting down, and then it will be terminated. Okay, if you create a Spot server, you should, if you don't want it, you need to terminate the associated request. How do you know that this instance is associated with that particular request? All you need to do is copy that particular instance ID, come to the Spot request and do a Control F and search for it. That's it. If you don't want it, you need to click on this, click on the actions and cancel the request. Okay. Once you cancel the request, it will be canceled. Is it clear? Is Spot termination clear, guys?
Hi, Manoj. I have a question here. Manoj, am I audible now?
Somewhere you're speaking away from microphone.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a quick question here. So when you're trying to cancel the request, so there is a check option called terminate, right?
Right.
So let's assume that you're not checking that. So what is the impact?
That's a good question. If you cancel a request, okay, if you don't terminate it, if you don't select this, if you cancel it, the request will be canceled. Okay, but not the instance that is running. If someone cancels it, for example, you or me cancel the request, you don't get it one more. Okay, because there is no request now to restart the server or recreate the server. All right.
Okay.
Makes sense, right? Is it clear?
Yes. And of course, I mean, so let's assume that you're terminating it. So the billing will be still active, right? If I'm not wrong.
No, because it has also terminated the server, right? The underlying disk, CPU, memory, everything are freed up, right?
Okay.
Pradeep, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Chinmay. Vijay?
Yeah, Manu, this is Mukesh.
Go ahead.
So when we cancel the request and the terminate option, if you have not selected, as you just mentioned, right? So the request will be cancelled, but that instance will still be running for 24 hours.
Yes, even in between, even if you terminate it, you can terminate it, but it won't be recreated again.
But if I'm not terminating, it will run for like max 24 hours and
yes.
Nothing new will be created and we will be built for the 24 hours.
You are 100% right.
Okay. And one more thing, the instances on the left-hand side that you're showing. So in the company or the team, we will be able to see all the instances, or is there a privilege or authenticate or like grouping they do only visible to certain
there is a
teams?
concept called as identity and access management. For example, if you are an operations guy, there is no point they give you create a server, right? For example, if you are a monitoring guy, you just need to have a read-only access. So likewise, based on what you are in the company as per your designation, your access will be given. But how that access delegation works, all these things, in the upcoming sessions, we are going to talk in a concept, in a service called as identity and access management. To answer your question, as per your job role, your identity will be given. Okay, and then based on that, what you can access and what you can't access will be designated. Okay. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Perfect. All right. Now, guys, for example, every day starting of the session, I have to create a server. End of the session, I need to terminate the server. Again, coming back to the session and deleting the server. Every time I'm clicking multiple buttons and selecting a lot of clicks, right? For example, I'm selecting 8 clicks. I don't want that. So instead, you can use a concept called as a launch template. Okay. A template, again, a template is again a simple English word. Okay. Template is like whatever the common things that you want, just place it. And whenever you want, copy the template, replace it with the options of your choice. Okay. So in the AWS, launch template is like supply all the predefined values. Just with a single click, you can create the server. Okay. You can create a server. All right. Let's try to see that as well. Or let's try to hold for today. So tomorrow we'll talk about this launch template, how that works and all. Okay. Oh my God, 100% of the people reported that they haven't. Okay. 2 people have mentioned that they have not on spot cancellation is not clear. Okay. How can we make it understandable? Let me try to create the server one more time. Launch an instance. And this time. Also, one more thing, yesterday I promised that I'm going to deliver, what do you say, naming standards. In the interest of time, I would like to stop it. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start with the naming standards. Okay, each and every company has their own way of naming standards for their servers. We'll talk about this in detail tomorrow. But for now, let me try to create the spot one more time because this my spot server 2. Copy that. Now here you browse the AMI and which AMI I want in the community section. CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI. Something like that. Select this option. And now you don't have to do anything. Just scroll down, just say proceed without a key pair option. And all you need to do is scroll down all the way down in the advanced section. In the advanced section, you have an option called a spot instance. And the moment you select the spot instance, you also have an option right side of it called as customize. You click on the customize option. And in that, you have an option called as persistent. I would like to select the persistent. And I also want to select the interruption behavior as stop. And then I launch the server. That's it. This is how I create my spot server. Okay, I did also mention that I do not want to proceed with a key pair because my AMI works with username and password. Now my server is created, right? Now what I'm going to do is, guys, can you see this? The status is still in the pending. If you go here, you can see, refresh it. Okay, your request is active. It is fulfilled. That means you'll get the resources. Now, if you want to know what is the pricing history, no one has mentioned, right? What is the pricing history and all. For example, before you place a request, and if you want to see what is the current pricing of your Spot server, you can click on the pricing history. Because I'm in the North Virginia, you need to mention in which availability zone you want. Now in the availability zones, I'm planning for T3.medium. It's a big machine, which gives me T3.medium, 2 CPs and 4 gigs of memory. And then you need to mention what is the range in the last 1 month. Okay, what is the range of it in the last 1 month? If you see this, it shows you. Okay, if it is an on-demand instance, it's gonna costing you 0.0416. And for example, yeah. So if you see this, you're getting 16% lesser than that. If you see this 68% discount, for example, what exactly is the billing for the Spot? For example, in the last 5 availability zones, okay, they are showing you the billing from April 19 to now, the average rate. For example, if you see this in the US East 1C, T3.medium is costing you 0.0125. Copy this and calculator, open INR to dollar to INR. See, per hour, that is per hour. Okay, that means if you use a T3.medium, T3.medium is a server with 4 CPUs and 8 gigs of memory. If you use it for 1 hour, it is just asking you 1 rupee. It's way less than what it is. That means your Amazon is giving you that much big servers and ask you to play. They're just charging you 1 rupee. That means almost 98% discount. But if you go with the same on-demand server, it's gonna cost you a lot. Okay, so before you proceed, if you want to check what is the history of that, you can check this way as well. All right, is it clear, guys? Spot billing clear? Spot billing clear, guys?
Yes.
All right. Perfect, guys. Perfect. I think we should be good. So yeah. All right, and that's for today, guys. Okay, so as usual, the meeting link remains the same. And tomorrow session starts the same time. Same, and session will start by 6 a.m. IST as usual. And I'm good. If you have any questions, we are good. Okay, session will start as usual. And in case if you guys have confirmed their enrollment, you would have got onboarding email. Please check your onboarding email. Okay, and all the details will be published there. And yes, tomorrow, let's connect tomorrow the same time, 6 a.m. IST, and meeting link remains same. Okay, and I'm good with that. I can comment that we are good to take up the questions. If you have any questions, please post your questions. We are good.
Yeah, Manoj, Chinmay here. I have a question.
Go ahead, Chinmay.
So it's like something which we haven't started. See, for the auto scaling group and all, is it possible to use auto scaling? Sorry, this instance, Spot instance.
Yes. The answer is yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah. And Manoj, I didn't receive the email which you have mentioned. Check.
Did you confirm your enrollment?
Yeah, I didn't get any message also for the confirmation. I'll message that.
Sure. Sure. Just message me. Just message to the point of contact. Okay. For example, if you want to reach out, who is your coordinator? So you're using the same tally. You're using the landing page, right? You have the point of contact here. In case it's Bobby Brown, just WhatsApp message. Okay, with respect to the number that you're using. All right. I could see a couple of hands raised. Salman, go ahead. Karthik, Devi, go ahead.
Yeah, Manoj, like if we select the request type as one time, if we terminate the server, will the server will be created there?
That option is related to whether you can shut down the machine or not. Okay.
Okay.
If you want the shutdown option, use it persistent. If not, do not use that. The default is one time.
Okay, I have one more question here. Like you were talking about the interruptions there. Like what do you mean by interruptions? Could you give more clarity on that?
Yeah, interruption behavior refers the same. Okay, if you want to interrupt the server, whether you can give the behavior of stop or not. That's it. That's what it refers.
Okay.
Sir, morning.
Yeah, good morning, Karthik.
Yesterday I got some error. Yesterday I told putting some error to cannot execute, can't prompt browse.
Please use this image. Ensure you're using this image only.
Okay.
Ensure you're in the North Virginia and search for this AMI.
Okay, thank you.
And connect using these credentials. Ensure you're using uppercase P.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Hi, sir. I don't get any onboarding mails. I paid amount to Shyam.
Okay, you get it. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Anyone? Sai, go ahead.
I have a question regarding the content. I mean, so I just wanted to give an input here, like what are the topics that would be covered in the subsequent session so that we will have an understanding. I mean, these are the list of things that would be covered in tomorrow's session, if that would be a good idea. I mean, that's just an input from my end.
That might or might not work all the time, because we try to keep the sessions as dynamic as possible. Because if we take a topic, we are going to try cover in and out of it, because we try to go with the latest documentation, because in the world of open source, things keep on update. I don't want to give you wrong expectations trying to cover something which is obsolete. In the space of cloud native things keep on updating. So we try to keep things as dynamic as possible. Okay, that's the reason I don't provide the table of content rather than I provide the syllabus. Hope you received the course content, right? What are the things that I'm going to cover?
Right.
So we are going to cover most of it, which are possibly usable options, not the junk options which are not needed. Okay, being in the industry, I know what things are used and what are not used. So I'll try to use as much as possible in a greenfield approach. Okay. But if you are with an assumption that I can prepare and come what's gonna cover tomorrow, that's fine. Your day gonna be very busy once the training starts, because I expect you to spend more than 1 to 2 hours per day. So again, doing this groundwork and all, we'll just try to come up with some different setup, because internet is you found a lot of crap. So the main reason I'm here is to give you the streamed content, so that saves a lot of your time.
Okay, got it.
Okay. But I can assure you, we try to cover to the best possible content.
Hopefully. Okay.
If you see, we are covering the content which is needed. We are not covering junk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vijay, go ahead.